You have Steph at 5. I have Embiid at 5. Who is in your 4 spot?
At number 4 is one of my favorite players to watch in all of the league. I immensely enjoy watching this guy. He's basketball perfected, man. It's Kawhi Leonard. He's just methodical, man. I know everybody calls him like a basketball robot, but it really feels like he's just in complete control. He's just methodical and extremely efficient, man. He gets to his spots. I don't really quite understand it, man. Like, Kawhi is the guy that you can play perfect defense on, and it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, well, that's going in. Sorry. Kawhi bumped you. Kawhi bumped you 3% off the spot you needed to be on. Sorry, it's going in, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like he's the Terminator. I know that's a comp that everybody gives, but it's like he's a basketball computer processing on the court exactly what he needs to do to tip the balances in his favor. And
Yeah.
he's fucking strong, man.
Oh my
Kawhi is.
God.
He's so physical, dude. I think that gets lost with some of these mid-range guys, and that's what makes it so much fun to watch. Like, everybody else on this list, Kawhi, I'll spoil my list because I assume we have the same 4 guys up here. Kawhi,
Spoiler. Oh, you're just going to say the names. Yeah.
yeah. Kawhi, SGA, Luka, and Jokic. It's like all of these guys are so physical, and they just weaponize it. And Kawhi feels inevitable. Again, you may look at the raw scoring numbers and say, oh, why is Kawhi on this list? You got other guys averaging 28. Kawhi's only averaging 24. He does it so freaking efficiently and so effectively. 24 on 53, 45, 89 splits. He's a 96th percentile scorer out of handoffs. He's a 97th percentile guy off cuts. He's 94th percentile out of isolation. He's 90th percentile as a pick and roll ball handler. He's 80th percentile out of spot up. Like, he's just efficient out of every action. And again, when you watch him on tape, I don't get it. He makes basketball look so simple and easy, and it's not. It is not this. I don't know. He just makes it look so effortless. Every play, it seems like, that the Clippers run, that little handoff at the top of the key, Kawhi curls around, but he doesn't let the defender blow him off of his line. Kawhi blows the defender off of his line, curls right around the screen, explodes to the elbow, boom, hits him with his little shoulder, pull up, it's water. And it's unstoppable. Whatever Kawhi wants, Kawhi goes and gets. And you could argue that there is nobody that it is directly translated more for in the playoffs. And that's the one take that I think I have had that is rock solid. When we did our all-time NBA draft with you and Gabe, and I took Kawhi very high in that draft, that's the one pick that I really think that I nailed that I would go back to. I'm very fine with starting Kawhi as an all-time 3. Like, his game is perfect, and you could put him alongside. That's another thing about Kawhi too, is it's like his scoring isn't a Luka or a Jokic level in terms of how heliocentric they are. Kawhi just gets his touches and he makes the most of them, and he can do it off ball, he can do it on ball. Kawhi is a perfect basketball player, and like I said, he is one of my top 5 favorite guys to watch. He's probably, I would go SGA, Brunson, Steph, Kawhi, and then maybe Luka. Those are probably my top 5 guys to watch in the league. Kawhi's a perfect basketball player, man.
He's close. What I would say he is the perfect assassin scoring wing archetype. When you think about a guy who gets a bucket no matter what and is going to be able to stop the opposing wing from getting a bucket, like, that's what Kawhi has been throughout his prime. And what's so incredible to me is, obviously he's not as old as a Kevin Durant, right? KD came into the league 4 years before Kawhi. But when you consider that he has still been in the league, this is his 13th year, and when you consider all that his body's been through in terms of injuries, it is incredible how consistently he has maintained this peak level when he is on the floor. Like, as great as a KD is, the fall off from his peak is more noticeable, right? Because he's just lost so much of that athleticism. Kawhi just has this insane combination of elite strength, great pace, and unfathomable pull-up shooting, and he's just gotten better and better and better as a shooter over the years, and he hasn't lost any of that strength. you read out the efficiency across play type. It is absurd. It is absurd. He is scoring with dream efficiency basically out of every action in which he is involved. And it is because he just doesn't miss jumpers. Like, he shoots 55% in the paint outside the restricted area. Of all of the great numbers who I've given out for guys in that range, that's the best so far. He shoots 41% on pull-up threes. That's better than Steph Curry. That's significantly better than a Kevin Durant. And he's also a crazy efficient finisher at the rim, 76% in the restricted area, and he is still getting there more than those other guys, right? He's not an elite rim pressure at this stage in his career, but because of his physicality and because he's still got a little bit more quickness than like a Kevin Durant, he still has more of that dimension to his game. But most importantly, it's the physical dominance, getting to those short mid-range looks, those short jumpers in the paint where he just doesn't miss. And he is great off ball. Makes 48% of his catch and shoot threes. And that's why I have him at number 3. I have him even one spot higher. And I imagine this and maybe SGA will be the most surprising placements on this list. I think there's going to be a lot that people are surprised by. Maybe Embiid down at 5 considering his regular season resume. But my top 3 guys are, to me, 3 guys who in terms of playoff scoring have been arguably a tier above everybody else. Kawhi's game translates perfectly to the playoffs because in those rock fights, he is strong enough to get where he wants, and he is a great enough shot maker to score with incredible efficiency. There is no matchup that can change that. There is no coverage that can change that. He gets what he wants. And that is why, since the title run back in Toronto, 2019, Kawhi has been incredible in every playoff run as a scorer. 30 points per game on 63% true shooting over that time. It is a resume, a playoff resume that's only rivaled by Jokic and Luka in that span. And I just really don't think that he's fallen off as much as maybe the raw numbers or just the fact that he isn't in the discourse as much would indicate. When a guy gets where he wants on the floor no matter what and doesn't miss, like, that guy's unbelievable. The only reason that I might even have a couple guys above him, who I do, is because, well, I think that they maybe even have more variety overall as scorers and even more outstanding touch in one case and even more like unbelievable physical advantages. But I really can't have Kawhi below this. His game translates to the playoffs as well as anybody's.
And yeah, man, that's really the thing about Kawhi that makes him stand out is the fact that he does get to those spots. Like when you think about a KD highlight, just imagine it in your head for a second.
Imagine it, visualize it.
It's a tough jumper. It is him fading away. It is him getting knocked off. It is him being forced to knock down a tough jumper. When you imagine a Kawhi jumper, it's him just going straight up and down right into it. And that's what makes it so unstoppable is it doesn't make sense. Like, that's why when I say, like, he just makes it look so easy, the reason that he's able to hit it with such efficiency is because every time he's shooting those, he is going straight up and down and he is balanced. And it is the same jumper that he's always shot, right? We can look at a guy like Kevin Durant, or you can look at a Kobe Bryant, right? And you go, man, dude, what a tough bucket. What a tough shot. And I'm not taking anything away from those guys because those are valuable buckets to get. But it's like those are tough, and those are always going to be lower percentage because your body weight is undistributed, and you are fading away and falling. It's just inherently going to make the jumper tough. When Kawhi can just get to that spot and rise and fire right at 90 degrees, coming up and back down, that shot is just going to fall with more efficiency because it's a straight up and down jumper. And Kawhi always gets there. Like, Kawhi never looks rushed, flustered, under duress, stressed. It's, I'm getting there. I'm getting my shot. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about what he did last playoff run. It wasn't long. It was very, very brief. But what he had, like 2, 3, 40 pieces. It was ridiculous, man. In those playoff scenarios, there are very few players that I trust more than Kawhi.
Last year, we only saw the 2 playoff games from him, but he was averaging 35 a night on 55% from the field, 60% from deep. The run before that, he was over 30 a night, 57% from the field, 39% from deep. It's just a level of efficiency and will as a scorer that is so, so rare. And that's why it's not like regular season volume is the determinant. That's why my scorers list isn't number 1, Joel Embiid, number 2, Luka Doncic, number 3, Giannis, number 4, SGA. It's about how does it translate to the playoffs. And Kawhi just passes that test perfectly.